Hello everyone, here is our next homework video for Module 4 and it's Lesson 4, and the objective is to identify, define, and draw parallel lines. And you have your reference sheet telling you that parallel lines are two lines that go on forever and do not touch, and they stay the same distance apart. So please remember to use your problem set to help you because it's almost identical to the homework, and also you only have to complete the homework that was circled, but this video will show all of the homework. So let's begin. So for number 1, it says on each object trace at least one pair of parallel lines that appear to be parallel. So again, use a color. I only did one on each object, but obviously there are more. So I did these two sides of the t-shirt because they can go on forever. They stay the same distance apart and never touch. Could probably do the sleeves. For this traffic sign, I did these opposite sides are parallel. They stay go on forever in the same direction and never touch. You could do the arrows. You could do the other two sides. I would use different colors so you can tell the different parallel sides. Oh, I forgot to do the guitar, but you can do the here or the these lines in between. For the flower pot, I did these two lines. They stay the same distance apart and never touch. For the grocery cart, I did these two lines as parallel lines because they go on forever and don't touch, but look at all of these parallel lines. For the roller coaster, I just chose these two. They stay the same distance apart and never touch. So how do you know if they're parallel? Two lines are parallel when they never intersect, which means they never cross, and they stay the same distance apart forever. So in the square and triangular grids, you're going to draw a line segment that is parallel. So I drew this blue line to be parallel to this. I stay the same distance apart and never touch. I drew this line segment here. They don't have to be the same length. I just did that. They stay the same distance apart and never touch. I did this line segment. See how it is longer? They stay the same distance apart and never touch. And I drew this line segment because they stay the same distance apart and never touch. So for these figures, we're going to use a right angle template and circle the letters that have at least one pair of parallel sides, and then mark the pair of parallel sides with arrows. So A was done. So A, there are parallel sides, so A is circled, and they have these little arrows here. So AC is parallel to BD. This line segment is parallel to this line segment. So AC, and see how it says line segment is parallel to BD line segment. So see, you have to have these labeled. Now for B, HI is parallel to JK because they stay the same distance apart and never touch. So we circled B and we wrote that line segment HI is parallel to line segment JK. This has no parallel sides. It is a right triangle because it has perpendicular lines and it has a right angle, but no parallel sides. This is an oval, no parallel sides. This is an isosceles triangle because it has two sides that are equal. It's also an acute triangle because it has 3 acute angles, but no parallel sides. F, yes, so we're going to circle F. Now I use different colors to show that OP is parallel to MN. It should be NM, I guess. It doesn't really matter. So we have our two little arrows here to show that they are parallel. They stay the same distance apart and never touch. So line segment OP is parallel to line segment MN, and ON is parallel to PM. Oh, this should be M. Typo. And see how I used green to show that those are parallel. Whoa, G was difficult for me. I have to say it was a little challenging. Circle G. So TU is perpendicular to RQ. So see how they're black? So these two are black arrows. These two line segments are parallel. They stay the same distance apart, never touch. Now, this is a little tricky because ST is parallel to PQ. And you might have to rotate the hexagon to see that, but these two stay the same distance apart and they never touch. And also, so we have line segment ST and QP P are parallel. And then line segment SR is parallel to UP. So SR is parallel to UP. So these are parallel. They stay the same distance apart, and if they go on forever. H also has parallel. Oof, this is another one. This is at, oh my goodness gracious, arrow. Okay, so we have TZ is parallel to XY. So see how they're black arrows here? So those are parallel. We also have TU is parallel to ZY. So TU, see how this is going up and down, is ZY. So these two are parallel. They could go on forever. See, they're different lengths, but if they went on forever, they would stay the same distance apart. And the same thing for WX and ZY. This line segment went on forever, and this line segment went on forever, they would stay the same distance apart and never touch. So now we have some questions to think about. True or false? All shapes with a right angle have sides that are parallel. Now we know that right angles actually mean perpendicular. So this is false. The shape in G did not have right angles, and the shape had parallel sides. Right angles mean perpendicular lines. While they do not intersect, they do not stay the same distance apart. So even in G, if you go back, because I can't go back in my mind, explain why A, B, and C, D are parallel, but E, F, and G, H are not. So these lines are parallel because they are the same distance apart for their whole length. They will never intersect. These lines are not parallel because they are not the same distance apart for their whole length. E and G are farther apart. So E and G are farther apart than F and H, and they will ultimately intersect. And 7, draw a line using your straight edge. Now use your right angle template and straight edge and construct a line parallel to the first one you drew. So I did CA and KE. So they are parallel.